Okay. Actually, I am ready all the time, but I'm still waiting. Still waiting my participants to join the Discord chat. So, if anyone would like to join this workshop, you can just download Discord. We will be hosting a session on the Discord server. So all you have to do is just download Discord and then click the link in the description, and then you can join the workshop. Or you can just be a observer of this workshop and sit in the live chat session of the YouTube live stream. Okay. Yeah. Let me call my participant here. I am pretty sure that he is still unconscious right now. So yeah, let me just call him right away. So that didn't work well. So I will just still try to start my presentation here and see if he can join later on, or if someone else join this workshop to replace his role, then they will be fine. But yeah, I will just try. If we cannot get a extra, an extra participants today, then we will have to maybe host a extra session later on, so that we can still test the actual run of this workshop. So, what do you think, Snake? Hey, Snake. Hello? Snake?
喂，等陣先，我屋企唔講你住。
Okay. 9 a.m. is too early. Yeah, but I actually have, sent him a, message via Signal yesterday. Last night, actually. But, yeah, he said okay, but later on, he's disappearing again. Never mind. I'll just try to start it. It's 11:20, so we are running behind the schedule right now. Okay. Let's see here. Snake, you can actually just mute the Discord. conversation right now, you can mute me here because you can. I would suggest you to see the YouTube stream instead in this stage because we are not actually running the workshop yet, and I don't think my computer can handle. I don't think my computer can handle tool streaming, both in the Discord and YouTube. So at the same time, it's not possible. My computer will just simply overheat and burn. Yeah. Let me just get some air first, in case my computer will just, really overheat. Okay. Thank you everyone to join this design thinking workshop. So before I actually run the workshop, I will just have a brief presentation talking about what is design thinking first. So in this presentation, I'm going to first talk about the background and possible application of design thinking and the actual process of the design thinking and some tools that you can use in the design thinking process. And finally, I will just address the workshop activities. So often when people heard of the word design thinking, they would just think about, oh, there's some fancy magic for genius mindset or creative stuff only for those people coming from the School of Design. But in fact, it's not what you thought. It is actually something that can be used by everyone. You just have to know the way to do it. So, design thinking is a process that gets you from problem to solution in a more practical and strategic way. It sounds simple, but problem is actually the most difficult part to address. Often we find ourselves feeling lost as we have found that the biggest problem is that we can't actually find the problem. So without addressing the real problem, and then we cannot give some real solution to our users. So problem we focus here is often defined from a human perspective. Of course, we can have some solution for maybe computers. We are not talking about that. We are only talking about problems for human and solution for human. So in order to create human-centered solution, we have to understand our users' behavior, values, and beliefs, and sometimes, and preferably, the emotional needs of our users. So these are the possible application of design thinking process. So maybe in the marketing, you want to find the best way to sell your products to your customers. Maybe the best way to advertise. In the management area, maybe you have launched your startups. You want to have a very efficient way to manage your team so that you can work and being productive effectively. And product development, of course. Talking about products is not only about consumer products that you use in your daily life. It can be service, maybe hotel service, any kind of service that is related to human. And of course, education. We have a lot of potential in using this process in education because education is really talking about how you interact with your students, right? So yes, basically everything that involves human can use this design thinking process. So design thinking process is obviously a non-linear process. It is a highly iterative process. You have 5 stages here. The first stage is empathize. It is a stage that you try to understand what your users feels and your problems related to your users, and next stage is to define your findings into a actual actionable problems. And idea is generate some ideas to solve your problems. Prototypes, very straightforward, is to make something that represents your ideas. And test, of course, is to test your ideas with your prototypes. So what does that mean to be a iterative process? Is that you can jump back from each steps to previous steps. You can jump from test stage right back to the define stage because you screw up the actual problem. You find that the prototype is not what the users are looking for. So you have to redefine the problems and start over. It is possible, very possible in actual cases, in real world cases. But yeah, it is a iterative process. So step 1, empathize. Empathize is all about observe, engage, and immerse. These are some approach that you can use during this stage. Observe means you capture clues, behavior, and other looks that reflect your user's experience. This is a indirect approach, but certainly can give you some fine details or clues about what your user need, which may be neglected by the users themselves. Engage is about taking out the user's beliefs and values via direct communications with your users. One of the key in this approach is to keep asking why, because intentions and logic behind their actions often leads due to the personal beliefs and values or even the emotions. And immerse is find or create ways to immerse yourself in specific environments or conditions that your users are experiencing. So that means you are experiencing the same thing that your user is experiencing. So you can grab some first-hand data by sharing the similar experience with your users. Step 2 is to define. So you have to define your wait a minute. Yeah. Wait a minute. So is it possible that okay. I think the OBS is cracking a little bit so that I cannot see that it is updating. But anyway, let me fix that right away. Sorry about that. Yeah. Why isn't it updating? Take a minute. Okay. Yeah. Shit happens, guys. So yeah. Just try to recapture everything here. Window capture. No. No. Screen capture. Display capture. Okay, we have already found the problem of running this workshop. So it is good news, you know. A way to fix that would be, let me see here. Good morning. I guess this is the first time you guys hear me talking in English, but don't feel strange about that. Yeah, I guess it is very common in Hong Kong as well. You just won't say it in your daily life. Yeah. Oh, yep. This is me. Eng is gang gang. I will have to private this live later on. Thank you. Yeah. I should stick a sticker at my webcam first. Didn't expect that to happen. But this is kind of a huge failure here. Yeah, I'll just have to maybe use the most traditional approach. Yeah, let's see if this works here. No, it's not working. Okay, screw this. I know how to fix it. Yeah, screw the presenter view. I will just have to stream it like the old times, and I will try to fix it later on. Okay, that didn't work. So huh. Yeah. I end up have to. I expect to hear the Australian accent. No, you will not hear anything like that. It is Hong Kongers accent. Okay. Let's just have a very quick look at what I have presented because of the technical problems, obviously. Let me get back to Yep. So I was talking about just some background application. So design thinking is just really getting your problem to the solution. Don't be sad. And that is because we wish to create some solution for human, and that's why we are trying to define human-centered problems, and we wish to find a human-centered solution for them. To do that, we have to really seek the investigated behavior, values, beliefs, and sometimes emotional needs of our user. Application, basically everything that involves humans. So you can see marketing, management, product development, and even education. So 5 stage of design thinking process. You can see we first have to empathize with the user first before defining the actual problem. It is really important to do that because it stands out from the very traditional approach. In the traditional approach, we often just directly define the problem, which is not quite possible and not practical to really create a human-centered solutions at the end of your design process. So this is a really important stage to empathize with your users. Observe, engage, and immerse with your users to understand what they are thinking and what they are experiencing is really critical in the empathize process. Can use more transition words. I will try to use that. Sorry about that. Step 2 is to define. You have to define a problem in a simple and actionable way. This is the example here. So user likes to eat apples and user doesn't like wasting time for food preparation. So these are the findings you have discovered during the step 1 of the design thinking process. But then you have to turn it into a really actionable item. In this case, we have used the how might we questions format to structure this problem. Is how might we shorten the time for peeling apples? So this can be used to launch and start your brainstorm session to create ideas, solutions for your users. So ideate. So ideate stage pretty much just going crazy to is it updating? I just have to keep checking. Yes, it's updating. So everything is going fine. So just go crazy with all your creativity. You would like to seek solutions and ideas in all directions. And what you're trying to do is not just creating ideas. You're actually harnessing a collective perspective and strengths among your team, drive your innovation, and And sometimes you can uncover unexpected areas that may need you to some refinements on your problems. That means you have to step back, jump back to the previous stage. And it is very important to create both volume and variety for your solutions, because going in all directions is fine, but to make something really practical for the user, you have to create the depth. That means the volume of your ideas. So try to avoid, this is really important, try to avoid evaluating and generating your ideas at the same time. Because if you are evaluating your ideas during your brainstorm process, that means you are stopping yourself from generating more ideas, because your mind is just basically feel frustrating, and you will be out of energy very quickly. So try not to do that. You can have a tiny process about maybe idea selections, but definitely not during your idea generation process. So prototype. So prototype is all about getting the ideas from your head in your physical real world. It is difficult to talk about what you actually do in prototype stage, because what you make will depends on your actual problem. It can be some kind of protocol, guidelines, actual product, service, maybe some kind of document, maybe just a simple idea. So it can be very vague to talk about what you are going to do. But the key point is you have to make something that is interactable and can be experienced by you, your team, and of course your users. And you would like to keep those prototypes to be inexpensive and low resolutions during the early stage, because you will make a lot of them in order to seek all the possibilities with various options, innovative options here. Next, test is just simply try the idea with your prototypes. The key point here is not to just try it with yourself, but get your users to try it and give you some feedback, opinions about using your prototype. And that's why we were talking about design thinking process is really a highly iterative process that can let you jump back to the previous stage with your feedback from your users. That means you can define the problem. I should say that you would do some amendments to your problems. All right, you will refine the problems here. That leads to maybe some new ideas, new prototype, and then do some new tests. So just talk about some tools that you will use in Amplify stage. So traditionally, of course, you can use the interview, but rather than just interviewing your users, you can actually do a process called story share and capture. That needs to be conducted in a team. Maybe you have a design team, then you can use this process. That means each of you will interview one single users, and then after the interview session, you gather your team, and then each of you will share the stories you heard from your users. That can help you to reveal something that you missed during your interview. And eventually you would like to have a empathy map. The empathy map is something that describes your users. So you can see in this map here, at the center of this map is actually a brief description of your user. So maybe the age, the condition, the situation that he or she is facing, something like that. Just a brief description, or a profile of the users. And then the 4 columns here, you will see, you have to record what the user says, thinks, does, and feels. It is getting harder when you progress this map. So it's very simple to just record what the user says, right? But talking about what they think is what you what you wish to do during your interview. You wish to really dig into their mind and see what they believe. And what the user does is slightly easier because you just have to observe their behaviors. But what they feel is kind of difficult because that involves some of your interpretation on your users. But it does take some practice. It needs some practice, but eventually you will get to the point that you find out what the user feels. That means the emotional needs. That can help you to make your products really stands out from the others. Defined. So this is a very simple strategy to define your problem. So just 4 steps here. So first of all, you just define what you met, and then you record what you find. For example, here we were surprised to notice blah blah blah, and then here is the key point here. We wonder if this means. So this is talking about your own interpretation on your users. That can be inaccurate, but if you can get it right, then you are really understanding your users and you will be doing a great job making a human-centered solution for them. So the final thing would be game-changing to blah, blah, blah. That's just a one step closer to getting your maybe how might we questions. I will talk about that in next slides. So often in the final step, it is more likely to be a actionable items for you to think. So yeah, how might we questions? So it's just try to rephrase your findings and interpretation in a how might we questions structure. If you keep it in this structure, I'm sure that you can narrow your problem and you will be doing a great job in your brainstorm stage. So, in your ideate stage, you will like to maybe do some brainstorm, very traditional approach. But the key point to host a very effective brainstorm is to maintain your energy. You have to keep your team motivated, and that means maybe okay, you run a 10 minutes brainstorm, people are getting really tired, you can just let them to take a break and maybe address another issues in the next brainstorm session, and then you come back later. Constraints is that you try to keep it you try to add some constraint to your brainstorm stage, maybe the time constraints. That means for examples, I try to get everybody to generate maximum numbers of ideas within 10 minutes. That can really get their engine pumping to try to really seek all the directions. Because if you are given unlimited time to do the brainstorm, then you will never get anything out from the air. So yeah, just try to add some constraint, maybe the time constraints. Space, you have to give sufficient space tools for your users. Post-it notes would be the very useful tools for them to use during the brainstorm. So selection is very critical very important to do selection. Otherwise, you will end up having a bunch of ideas and you don't know how to start. I would suggest you to do a categorizing on the ideas, and then later on you can do some voting. Maybe you get everybody to vote on which categories to start with, and then later on you vote on which specific ideas to start to do your prototype or further brainstorm on that particular ideas. So about this workshop, okay, finally we can get to this page here. It is very long already. Okay, so in this workshop, I will try to get from empathize stage to idea stage. So the interview here, I will just let everyone to form a group of 2. So I will let maybe A to interview B for 4 minutes and then stop and let the position to reverse. That means B interview A for another 4 minutes. And then we come back together and share the stories and findings. This is not limited for the time. And then we form some HowMai regressions in 15 minutes. And then we do the individual brainstorm for 10 minutes. And that means you really, we will be, everyone will be just shut up and then do your own work on your idea generation. And then brainstorm, the group brainstorm will be last for 20 minutes so that you will present your own ideas. And during the record of the ideas, you can see others' ideas and it's possible that you will generate some new ideas. So that's why it's called group brainstorm. So yeah, do you have any questions about my presentation? I can see that Snake is escaped from the chat. I'm not sure why. Maybe he just closed Discord and watched my YouTube stream instead. This is definitely going to be private, guys. Really. You will not see this presentation. You will not see this live stream after this session here. Because I have shown my real appearance. My ugly face. So I have to delete this video immediately. Or you can actually ask in Chinese. Or Cantonese, sorry. Or 香港語。唔係認真，我為大家，其實我可以用中文答返 ，OK 嘅。即係因為個 presentation 咧，如果係即係用中文答咧，就即係用中文做咧就好怪嘅。即係你嗰啲譯嗰啲咧係亂咁譯噶嘛。我其實真係唔明點解佢 capture 唔到個 PowerPoint 咯，個 OBS 係點啊各位？冇嘅話就收檔噶咯，即係我俾阿偉甩咗底啦，咁就係有啲估唔到係會搞咁耐，我自己 prep 係15分鐘咯，但係超時啦，實際上 run 係會超時嘅，應該要再 prep 多啲，但係其實好難嘅，因為咧，我又想多啲時間去 run 個 workshop 咧，咁跟住係咯，咁冇就冇啦，咁各位。 咁樣咧，就睇下之後有冇機會咧，就真係溫個 workshop 啦，或者我再做一次啦。即係無端端佢會唔出現，咁就冇辦法。蛇叔好似都唔係好得閒啦，佢都走咗啦。咁係咯。咁如果冇咩嘅話咧，佢今日咧就完啦。唉，我都唔知做乜嘢，開個 live 變咗即係我 set up 晒所有嘢，跟住俾人放飛機咁樣。唉，其實我為咗講呢個 PowerPoint，呢個 PowerPoint 係我臨開 live 之前1個鐘揼好，跟住我係咁 prep 咗2-3次左右。即係最慘係我其實我係瞓咗3個半鐘嘅咋，我琴晚就係為咗呢個 live。係係咯，多謝大家。完。Any successful project have you used by the design thinking method? Not yet, but I am actually trying to use the design thinking process in my research. So that's why I have to. Actually, I will run a design thinking workshop later on with my volunteers. So I have to do a preparation run, trial run for the design thinking workshop first, in order to make everything smooth. So yeah, I have to do that. That's the first trial here, but obviously I can't get someone to join. I know one of our university classmates, Zachary, is actually using this design thinking process to run his own business. I'm not sure what kind of business he's running. I would say probably some website design and website design. He's trying to do something. He's trying to generate some solutions for his client, mostly the startups companies. And my supervisor is an expert on design thinking as well, so that's why I feel that is really getting popular, as she is also trying to wait a moment, please. I can feel that my mic is going crazy. She is actually trying to make a community, design thinking community here in Australia. And I also joined a design thinking workshop hosted by the local government here last month. That involves probably about 100 of secondary students, local Australian secondary students, and get them to try to make something innovative, to think if they are going to make a new business, what would they do to make it successful and really stands out. And they use this process to get them to from the the improvise to the testing stage. Not much about the testing because it's not possible to do it within a very limited time. But yeah, I guess they did get through to a bit of the prototype stage. Yeah. Good question. Very good question. I actually thought that more people would be interested in this academic thing, but unfortunately, no. I'm actually really trying to share what I've learned. Yeah. I'll keep trying. Yeah. And it's really really something that I didn't realize in PolyU. I was thinking that it is my own specialties, to really empathize with the users, to simulate their experience in my mind and try to understand their beliefs. But actually not. It is the existing approach. And I was thinking that that's really really fun to share that this approach is really working in reality. So yeah. If you are interested, you can just contact me and I can send you a more detailed tools about design thinking, because it is hard and not practical to include all the tools that we use in design thinking process. I actually have a leaflet, not a leaflet. That should be a bootnet documents from D-School. D-School is one of the inventor of this design thinking process. It is a design school. I forgot the full name, but it is located in America. Yeah, design thinking is invented by Americans. So there. I can send you that document, and you can actually find it on the web. So okay. All right, I will just wait for the delay, maybe 1 minute, see if there's more questions or not. If no questions, then I will just stop this live stream and get some sleep. Yeah, I really do need some sleep.喂，中文都得噶喎，唔一定英文喎。即係 present 先話唔可以用中文嘅，因為呢啲 term 真係好難用中文去講啊嘛。你真係你睇下你諗下，即係咩呢個咩 empathize 點樣用中文講啊？係嘛？同情啊嘛，即係同化咁樣。即係我就咁譯你都覺得交啦，啱唔啱啊？即係冇可能噶嘛。咁跟住點啊？跟住我話 iterative process 咁樣，你英文好直觀啊，你明白到嗰個意思，但係你譯翻做中文都唔知點譯，亂譯。咁好啦，咁既然冇問題啦，今日咧就咁喺度完啦。真係食蕉仔啊！放飛機可恥，各位。咁睇下下次有冇機會真係 host， 可能夜晚啦，睇下佢得唔得閒啦吓。就係咁。完，等我去翻 OBS 熄咗佢先。